Traditionally, the aims of art and science are viewed as being very different, but throughout history, illustration has played a crucial role in conveying scientific knowledge. So please join me, evolutionary biologist and science communicator Dr. Chris Freelance, for this episode of my 5-part series showcasing key examples of where illustration has been key to communicating new knowledge in the natural and medical sciences. In the early 1820s, one man set an ambitious goal: to paint every species of North American bird. Now, over 200 years on, the legacy of this goal remains. First editions of the book sell for millions of dollars. His works are still widely considered the archetype of wildlife illustration. He was responsible for describing 25 new species, and his illustrations include several species that are now extinct. Born in Haiti in 1785, as a child, John James Audubon reportedly had a fascination with birds before he later became a talented ornithologist and self-taught artist. He was long determined to depict birds in a more realistic way than most natural history illustrators of the time, and he eventually became determined to cite and paint every North American species of bird. In addition to there being no comprehensive record of North American birds at the time, many of the well-known species were not widely known outside of America. To the British, these were exciting and exotic specimens. Audubon's works were mostly watercolour paints, pastel crayons and pencil. The plants and landscape backgrounds, such as the copper iris in this plate of the northern parula as it's now known, give environmental context and scale, and were provided mostly by Audubon's assistant Joseph Mason, often uncredited, and plants and insects by Maria Martin. The original prints were hand-coloured copperplate etchings of Audubon's original drawings. His famous body of work, The Birds of America, cost over $2 million in today's money to produce in entirety, with funding coming from subscriptions of around $1,000 per subscriber, as well as many commissioned portraits and other works. The first edition, being the Havel edition of Birds of America, contained 435 hand-coloured life-size prints of 497 bird species. And such was the size of some of the prints, it was dubbed the double elephant folio due to using the paper size, called double elephant. As well as many of these birds being new to those outside North America, some were even new to science. 25 species were previously undescribed, 5 species are now known to be extinct and 3 more possibly are, and 5 species are not known to modern science. Whether these are extinct species, or perhaps fraudulent species created to garner attention and prompt discussion to increase sales, is still the subject of debate even today. While wildlife photographers have long replaced painters and illustrators as the primary source of wildlife imagery, the tradition of Audubon continues. Illustrations still abound even in the latest editions of ornithological field guides. This could be because a curated illustration is more efficient and controllable to produce compared to a photograph of a wild animal in situ. Or as a former museum scientific illustrator explains, it could also potentially reflect tradition and our preferences as humans.
It's cultural, and the publishers are assuming, or perhaps they know, that the people who are buying these books don't only expect to see illustrations, but they prefer them.
Regardless of the reason, with the awe that Audubon's famous works continue to inspire, it's unsurprising this tradition of intricately illustrating birds to convey the identifying features of the species continues hundreds of years on.